And it looks like we're going to a map 3 as DRX takes down Cloud9 on Haven. And I would say in commanding fashion, they looked very, very good in map 2. And Tom, I think, you know, looking at this series as a whole, it truly is the gift that keeps on giving, because you're getting incredible compositions, amazing strategies, god-tier shots. It's been everything you can ask for.
That's the thing, with all those stars over your shirt, I think if they win this next map, you're going to have to change before doing anything else today. So, yeah, it's been an incredible turnaround. I think that's the main thing. Like, DRX got absolutely blasted out of the first map. It looked like in terms of the initial plans on the other side, they kind of got owned. But this time, well, stacks topping the board, that's not something I had coming in on the breach, Mimi.
Yeah, it was surprising, but I think what was most surprising was just the consistency for DRX. We had kind of applauded their site executes coming into today. Map number 1, C9 shut that down completely. Here on Haven, exact opposite. DRX was absolute perfection on these executes, and on top of that, they really shored up their post plans. They struggled with those quite a bit on Pearl, but here on Haven, they looked fantastic. 90% win rate after getting the spike down 10 times in the first half. That is incredibly impressive, especially because C9 again was building their composition around this double flash setup to go for these fast pre-takes, and they just were never able to win them.
Yeah, I think as well the other thing, it comes down to the calling. Like the read that it seemed a lot of the time for them to get into like a free state. Like we brought that clip up in the sort of halftime where it was like, hey, they've dashed in with pistols, there's no one here, and they can get into those post plants. So I think a lot of it came down to just having some really good calling as well on the side of Stacks again.
Absolutely. Also, the way they played the post plants changed a little bit. They understood that those pre-takes were coming, so played a lot more forward, always had a player set up in the anti-flash. It was just really well done between map 1 and 2 from DRX.
Yeah, and I think we also had a narrative going into this. We're narrative enjoyers here on the desk.
Absolutely.
And going into this, we were really highlighting, you know, the impact players, right? And in this particular instance, you got Buzz, and then you also have Ye. And look, I think, you know, it's a philosophy diff potentially, but overall, though, still a strong performance for Ye.
Yeah, Buzz had a fantastic performance on the Jet, but I wasn't seeing quite the same value out of Ye on this chamber, right? Like, on the defense, he was really never getting opening kills on the off, and he had some moments on the attack, but it didn't feel like the chamber pick was worth it to me.
Look, he got quite a few exit kills, GB. Let's be honest. Like, that's where the stats got padded. I think, like, speaking of Buzz, he was light years ahead in this one.
Okay, but are we all sold out on Ye Chamber right now? I mean, surely he can still invest the Ye card if he needs to, or the Chamber card rather.
I'm taking the investments away. He's not going to be allowed to do it anymore. Hang up the badge, hang up the gun. No more Chamber for Ye.
It's harsh. That's harsh. All right, well, we're going to Icebox for map number 3, and at this point, Tom, hands in the air, I don't care. You know, I'm in.
Do you want to hold up your board from earlier? I think
oh, well, I do, only because it was a very well-designed board, but unfortunately, the stream will never get to see it. So no one will ever know.
We put in equal amounts of effort to the drawing on our boards.
Yeah, all right, we're heading into the Agent Select in a second, and I'm interested in what these teams like. The Prime Gaming Agent Select, I'm hosting now. You're off the rails.
I'm on the
He's off chamber, you're off the desk. Like, everyone's getting replaced at this point.
Vanity hovering Brimstone. That would be insane if we do see this one through. We saw Mech experiment with a comp like this last year, and well, I never felt like it was quite as good as just the bog standard, like, Viper composition. It had merit. The one-ways are really powerful, but okay.
Doesn't happen.
Normalcy. Normalcy.
What's that?
Except for non-normalcy.
Normalcy, no. That is interesting. A Harbor coming through, actually going to throw him with the double controller. It's something, as you said, people have experimented elsewhere with the likes of Omen. You saw that on Yumpy as well, but this is very different.
But here's the thing. No Sage. That means they're going to rely on Cove to plant towards B. It is not as good at letting you get that plant down. Attacking side is going to be pretty tough with this Harbor, in my opinion.
Oh, boy. I hope you all at home can feel the tension in the air, because after this map, we're losing either Cloud9 or DRX, and that just seems wild to say, but here we are. That's the world we live in. Let's go ahead and send it over to Pansy and Hypoc for the cast.
Yeah, this game, I feel, needed a map 3. I'm glad we're here. It's been 2 quite one-sided maps until this point, though. We're Cloud9 smashing through on map 1, DRX doing what we know of them on map 2, and now we walk into Icebox with Harbor.
Yeah, just to come back, roll your minds back to DRX being one of the first teams to really kind of toy or innovate with that B-side execute, but it was based around the Sage.
Yes.
That was what it was based around. It was placed around, obviously, mixing up that wall a little bit, taking deeper control towards Snowman. So I'm curious if DRX have got something else cooked up. Well, I hope they have.
I bloody
Don't
hope
pull
so.
out the Harbor here with elimination on the line, map 3, and not have something to rely on.
And that is what we will be looking at. Mike, I'm tasking you with finding value in this, and if you agree, it's actually worth it. For now, we wait and watch, as it will be DRX on the attack inside, Cloud9 to defend. An early look towards A, and presence noted now.
Stacked up here, 3 members of Cloud9, although Vanity drifting away from this, so it would just be Yay and Zelsis to hold down the 4. Still got that wall available. Yay actually armed with a Sheriff, will get an opening tag.
Got themselves a window of opportunity though, Mike. They obviously don't know how much by. They need to make their move now. Yay gonna try and slip ahead, and Yay still standing with 2 big kills. Sheriff to hand, and doing serious damage here. Spams away, does not find connection towards Marco, who does find one back, and DRX not out of it yet. Vanity left in the 1v1. Zest on the other side had a great performance in map 2. And Vanity needs to cool off for a second. 2 big kills already. And Zest closing in, DRX. First on the board, but it was fought for.
Zest just creeping up on that angle, catches Vanity off guard, at least initially here. What the call was there, really, with why Vanity peels away from A site. Even Zelsis and Yay in a precarious position. I mean, Yay still gets his. Punch 2 ahead of that. Actually, that second wave is just so clean from DRX. Everybody swinging through the wall at the same time. Looks like maybe Stax' utility going to be dedicated towards taking top 410 control on these A hits. Or at least this early space denial that we're seeing for a second time here towards B.
Buzz noted here.
They get an indication of the stack, though.
Yeah, you're already going to pull players over. Yeah, he's gone down, just overwhelmed. Buzz going to send the wave in motion. Taking the site. And actually allowing the plant to come through here as well. They're trying to get into it, not going to happen. Yeah, plants in. This is lovely from DRX. Clean work. RB, no stress. Beautiful. Prime gaming, flawless. Mike, what are we making of the Harbor in that round? That was quite nice.
I mean, so far, I mean, we're already seeing, obviously, this early space denial. We're seeing the layering behind that fight ball, which is basically going to give, well, cancel out the cooldown almost. And straight away, we're seeing a difference here in plant position for DRX, which is, well, I said, they were one of the first teams to really start switching up some of these B-side hits on Icebox.
Very innovative team. And I'd quite like to see if we see that little glimpse of DRX again. Always pleasant to see when they get a little creative. They've had some downtime. I mean, a lot of these rosters outside of this have been in rebuild phase, so getting down those fundamentals, running through what they've got. I'm hoping the DRX had gone back to the drawing board. And let's see if there's a challenge now. Cloud9 maybe looking to challenge that wall, or that wave, should I say. And they have actually postured up Yay a little deeper, so they're going to clear this comfortably. Should be quite telling that it is going to be an A piece. Oh, he's going to continue forward, actually. Yay taking a little bit more space. The turret does go in, so that will be defending that back line.
Yeah, DRX almost going to be approaching this fairly dry. So with no flashes, just relies on getting close, capitalizing on this utility, and actually Zest a little ahead of the utility this time around.
Yeah, timing a little inconsistent, and Zelsis all too aware of one of the players, trying to break it down and deny the palm. Lovely work. Really good positioning coming out from Zelsis there, just to challenge that if that was a consideration. Now DRX need to fall back to another plan as that wave is going to drop, and it does. Buzz with 1, looking for Marco to get the follow-up, and he does do just that. Maybe beyond that would be a little bit too much to ask for, but we look at what's remaining. It's just RB with that Bulldog. 3 players on the other side, rifled up and ready to go, and that back line is collapsing. Yay closing in. 30 seconds, RB maybe thinking he could isolate that fight, but the other 2 sitting super deep, allowing Yay that room to work. And, well, that's a barrel moted.
Yay's seen it as well, yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to sit back a little deeper now. He's reading that RB wanted to isolate that fight, and he's not going to give him it.
If RB's able to remove another weapon, could be worthwhile, but 10 seconds left now, might even just try and get the extra ult orb. No denial coming through from Cloud9.
All right. That could be it. That's lovely from RB.
He's got the lockdown.
Yeah, oh my god, he does. This is going to either quicken the pace or they have to respect it. They're going to try and find the fight here. RB has to back away. He's got to fight again, RB! Incredible! The lockdown gets dealt with, and now Leaf in the 1v1. Time on RB's side! It's impeccable work from RB!
Unbelievable stuff from RB for the Red Bull clutch. A 1v3, C9 giving him so much space and respect. And RB punishes. That's a heartbreaking round for Cloud9.
Because it looked gifted, it looked on a platter. Gotta say, he was able to dice them up into 1v1s, manageable 1v1s, so well. Yeah, that's frustrating if you're a coach. Because that's a tilter even as a player. You're sitting there thinking, we've got a 3v1, I only got a Bulldog at best, no worries here, we should be fine.
The worst thing being here, Leaf, C9 make the right decisions, right? Leaf's tagged up, he goes all the way deep into spawn. But then the spacing between Ye and Vanity, there's just no opportunity, A, to deny the plant, or B, to get a peek together onto site.
Man, this is huge. What a game. This is a warning signal for me. Cloud9, when they look good, they look almost untouchable. But this is DRX looking in potentially full force. I'll hold my word until we see the full buys back and forth. But again, here's his attempt at that plant. This time, Zelsis unable to really question it and buzz the first to draw blood on towards Ye. The site's theirs.
The lockdown, obviously there's stingers across the board here, whether or not Cloud9 want to invest into this. It's doubtful here, but actually, yeah, Vanity will.
Deep, can he go for this? Okay.
It's a very deep lockdown, actually.
Yeah.
It's way ahead of screens, the traditional position for it.
See how it goes. Does it hold? Buzz gonna find Leaf. Buzz onto Zeppa. Eventually goes down. The defuse gonna start. Gonna maybe get it towards halfway. Yes, body blocking in effect. Turn and face the music. RB again. Signs it, seals it, delivers it. DRX up to 4.
C9 need to make something work in this buy round now. Big investment to throw the lockdown into that previous. Again, DRX showing that they have the ability to use this cove to put themselves in a much safer post-plant position to hold. Yeah, another round that's frustrating to watch. Blade Storm available for Buzz as well.
Yeah. Oh, this is so exciting to watch.
A bit of a bankroll established already by DRX.
And Ye not getting where he wanted to be, and this has to relinquish any sort of early pressure he might have wanted to bring. Has to now respect the early work put into place by DRX and an adjustment here. Marco actually finding a little bit of room to work. Now, there is a turret up here, and Vanity is playing behind it, but still, I wonder if Marco does start trying to test this potentially. A very different approach from DRX now.
C9 playing very deep on this, and actually DRX find a bit of space in mid to split, and actually the first opener. Buzz will find one. Zeppa will respond.
But Marco won out in mid as well, so they are now surrounded on this B side. There's no comfort for Zeppa here. He couldn't fall back. This is gorgeous work from DRX. This is a DRX that made people fall in love with this roster. So tactical and technical in approach, and now Zelsis and Ye really just out of place on this, not able to find too much work yet. RB, the only one really spotted. And Ye trying to find Marco. Still, Zelsis the one to do it. Ye can now stretch his legs a little further. Red's gonna come in, okay, back up to 3. We've got a bit of a round on our hands now. Ye, good for it on towards RB, but how do you break the back line? Ult gonna come in, this gets trickier. Spotted. Seen on the cross. Ye goes down, a tap on the spike, but they can't quite see it. They need to get on towards this. Got to take down Vanity and find the final player. Stax has it, and DRX remain flawless in the run here on Icebox.
Starting to get a little worried here for Cloud9. Whether or not the response is what we saw Ye hinting at in the previous round. Denying some of this early space, but DRX have sent this fake previously towards B. But this audible towards B, this utility towards Zeppa is beautiful. He has no space to play whatsoever. Cloud9 trying to get away with a cheeky defuse. Gonna call the timeout here, and rightly so. They need to get a firm grasp on this early round. Whether or not the operator is something to maybe consider for Cloud9, they don't have the funds to support it.
No.
Unfortunately, that's where the question comes back to. Obviously, some of these, throw a Bulldog, throw a Stinger into some of these rounds. And when you're on the back foot, those full buy rounds become so much more delicate, way more fragile. RB almost on another lockdown as well. 10-2 right now for him. The Des touched on him being, at times, a little underwhelming with how much hype there was around this player, but
yeah.
delivering here in Sao Paulo once again.
For Cloud9, this is the question that gets brought to my mind. Still a relatively new roster to an extent when you look at them, you know, reshuffling, rebuilding. The depth and the capability now to deal with a whole new look of DRX. We have not seen them really break this out yet. We haven't seen a common run of Harbor in this, and it's serving its purpose well here. Very, you know, fine adjustments, but it's working wonders. So I want to see how well Cloud9 learn on the fly. Do they have that capability yet? 3 plays stacked down towards B-Long with actually intention behind it. They are getting quite close here. Ye is willing to backfill this.
Much deeper exploration from Cloud9. But again, now they just don't have the bodies to defend A site, so Vanity has to sit back and watch almost.
Yeah, they can't challenge this. They're depending on this squad here, this little squadron moving around the back lines behind the wire. But you can see the preparations there. Ye's just going to be brute force and ignorance! And it's incredible again from Ye. They need this man to heat up here if they want to find for anything. But DRX are holding. The plant's still in, and the final 2 were on the other side of this site. They haven't really questioned the plant just yet. First player spotted by Dice. The second will be noted in Zephyr. RB should be all too aware, but he's not. He's overwhelmed. Still going to try and close the gap here. Still going to try and get close by. Bud's going to be playing the seconds here. The crossfire is good. DRX up to 6.
And these are the sort of post plants I was talking about on Pearl. DRX getting themselves into very deep positions. So difficult for Cloud9 to dig them out. And relying on those fundamentals. And it's starting to shine now. This is even with Ye. This adjustment was beautiful. Great read from DRX though, knowing that obviously that site presence is going to be a little weaker with the emphasis on the flank. First time we've seen some aggression from Cloud9, but like I said, there's not an awful lot behind this purchase. So now, they have to show restraint.
Speaking of, we very rarely in this roster's lifetime, lovely from Zephyr, seen them playing from the back foot. We have to see how Cloud9 look in this position.
Lockdown removed as well. RB had it back online here, so DRX going to have to find some way to recover this round.
Here.
Buzz hasn't been given an opening duel here.
Here.
Zest potentially going to have his recon back online by the time he makes it across to B main. There's 3 players at Cloud9 here. Vanity towards Connector. Leaf all the way in Snowman.
Just to see if he can make it look as good as Som. Absolutely not. Buzz up and over, no problem there, no sweat to it. The site's somewhat under control already. And maybe Vanity a little further ahead, but I don't know if he's going to get much. Yes, he does. Slips the net really well, and Leaf in tow. This is perfect, actually. Cloud9 just ahead of some of those positions, overwhelmed. Strike back from Cloud9 finally.
Forcing DRX into an uncomfortable position. Do find the opening here onto Zelsis, but not going to matter too much. Curious now if the funds are there to get an operator. Still not in play for Ye.
No.
Stack's about to be back on another ultimate as well. This is a tough position. Cloud9 basically need to win out another flawless here to really equalize the economy. Still, they're at a disadvantage in terms of the ultimates.
And again, remind yourself that 7th round that was converted. RB went down pretty early on, missed out on a great deal of that. So now let's see if potentially Cloud9 can get another one of those. Just get us a free pick, please. Ye's doing serious work on the other side of the map here, taking complete space towards A, sees nothing. So again, will allow for that rotation to come in early, and DRX going through the motions. The site take is in play.
Try and get this down again inside the cove. Lockdown destroyed already. Get a free plant and they'll get away with it. The Viper Spear will actually cover the plant as well.
This is quite nice. Pressure now mounting, Zelsis falling. And time now has to be respected. A big response, heavily invested around it. Plenty of ults put into play. And now we look at what they've got remaining here for this retake. 3 players lined up. RB happy to greet them with a smile here. Stack's the one to draw blood. Buzz by his side. It is a shutout. They've got to go away from here. They've got to get that save. You said it had to be flawless if it was meant to be even good for them long-term, economy-wise. They're barely making it out with surviving casualties.
Be able to scrape together a purchase.
Well.
Wow. Not with Zephyr falling. Maybe still Vanity's going to be the concern, but should be there or thereabouts. Big investment from DRX to pull this one across the line.
But it has broken the money.
That effectively resets it. Yeah, Cloud9 are back in the same position they were 2 rounds ago.
Yeah, absolutely worth its weight in gold there.
And look at the other side now. DRX back in the position they were 4 rounds ago when they had a massive bankroll established.
Yeah, 6.9 on Buzz, 5.8. Yeah, they are sitting so pretty in that regard. And now Cloud9 needs to somehow do this with the light armor coming out. A little bit of a different look here. 4-1 split. Gonna leave Marco to deal with any pressure coming through on B. And there's that ult we'll wait and see if invested. Counter ult from Leaf. And RB's already on the site though, already trying to hunt him down. And RB is just rabid at the moment. He's shutting this down perfectly. That's a Viper's Pit gone, and that A defense has crumbled now.
Actually utilizing the information from Stax' ult there perfectly. Reading that this is going to be the lighter stack. The emphasis has been B for Cloud9.
Yeah, the tap on the spike's not drawn too much attention, really. They know it's all for naught here. Only Vanity to really find much back, and they still need to break this back line. They have no lurk coming in. Still no one on that spike, not even halfway right now.
They have to save.
Yeah, they've got to back out of this.
Stax puts up a second wall. The snake bites can come through, the shock darts can come through, and they can't push because they'll be slowed. It's beautiful from DRX.
Masterclass work here from DRX. Technical capability once again shining. Yes, they will lose a player here at the end, but that's irrelevant to outcome. 8-1 now. This is blistering work from DRX.
Yeah, he's going to be struggling. It's going to be a Guardian, a Spectre for Leaf. A big ultimate in the form of the Viper's Pit invested here in the previous, when you consider the defensive half for Cloud9.
Man, Cloud9, they're a boisterous team on stage, and I like it. I'm all for it. Stax does it. I don't mind teams trying to get in each other's heads. I actually really like that. But when you are down 1-8, that deciding map, it does start to weigh heavily on you. Looking a lot quieter here, Cloud9. Not really found that response to this. The first challenge being fought for here. Leaf trying to get in the faces a little, and does eventually fall away.
This progress through A, though. Marco's going to be tested. There's 3 members of Cloud9.
Oh,
They're actually following through.
He's sitting so deep on this. Marco, great work with 2 there. And he can hold back the third. He doesn't need to over-challenge. He wants it. He's got it. Cloud9 crumbling here. The Prime Gaming flawless to boot. DRX are running this game right now. They are about to send Cloud9 home at this pace.
He's just looked towards the money again. Cloud9, if they do commit to this investment, round 12 is going to be devastating for them.
Yeah.
Besides the 3K from Ye, not going to have the Blade Storm. Haven't seen that operator once on the defensive half.
Not been allowed to.
No. They've been in an absolute chokehold in terms of the economy. Buzz going to open this up. Zelsis off the rip. Ye will be noted as well.
This is going to be a horrible feeling for Cloud9. It's starting to fall between their fingertips here, and it's a 1-for-1. It ain't enough. They already had the advantage, and yeah, Zephyr trying to backfill this, but it's going to be perfect for DRX. They're already on the site. The plant's going to be coming in. It's safe as well. Nothing to stop it. Stax getting away scot-free, and the post plant is dirty to try and break. Oh,
Vanity,
come on! Come on! Leaf trying to pick up the pieces. But it's all for nothing. DRX making it to 10.
And you look at what worked on Haven, C9 getting ahead of some of these post-plant setups, not allowing DRX to find that comfort here. A total contrast. Total contrast. Cloud9 barely getting a look in some of these rounds.
God, it's just perfection watching.
Yeah, DRX are playing flawless Valorant here on map 3.
This is going to be the game that gets reviewed by all the analysts. It's going to be all over Reddit looking at all these new setups, the way DRX are approaching. This is the DRX that enamored the audience, that got everyone looking at this Korean side going, oh my god, who are they? And as much as Ye can try, and he is, it still may not be enough here. Another round, a consolation prize potentially.
First time they get away scot-free with an opening engagement, to be honest.
The last round was exactly like this. They had that first entry pick that came on towards RB. I think it was with the Hunter's Fury off the back of Zeppa's early work, and yes, they were able to stabilize, but these haven't been frequent.
DRX still got their sights set towards 8. 2 shock darts, 2 snake bites to work with, so they can still reset towards this post plant.
You shouldn't be losing a 5v3 at this point. Cloud9 need everything they can get here. Vanity the first to be willing to touch the spike. Pings come in and Marco denies Leaf. And now just down to Stax and Marco to make this work. Rez coming in more, bodies being put on the spike, but the spike is still not being defused right now. Zelsis, the second attempt at it now, has to be dealt with. Oh, and it is Stax! Incredible work, and DRX are immovable at this point. Destined to close out this half.
And this is with the res coming through. They still convert this position. Cloud9 completely disengaged from sight. And DRX punished them for it. This is unbelievable from DRX right now.
Oh man, this is the DRX we have been waiting for. Teams reformed, they brought in the best talent they could. But you can't beat DRX right now. Incredible form, 11-1. Let's hand it back down to the desk to potentially almost wrap this one up.
Whew. Oh boy, that was not good.
That was great. What do you mean?
No, let me clarify. That was flipping awesome. Okay, I'm just going to be very upfront here, but there's one person that I got to turn to right now. Mimi, you have some explaining to do. Okay?
Yeah, so I thought without a Sage, they were going to really struggle on this attacking side. But the game plan with the Harbor was so good. You don't need a Sage if you're not just abusing these B hits.
But that's the thing. They had so much. Straight away, the high tied in. You could already see the code being used to get the plant, which a couple of times was denied. But then you have Buzz's aggressive swing. You have nano swarms down below. There's so much utility just forcing these players into awkward battles that eventually it came down to just C9 consistently having to get aggressive. And that's just the A take.
Yeah, the B take as well, really cool. Take a look at this round. They take some initial control towards B main, then late round they send 3 players back through mid. You can't really win B hits without a Sage if you're just going straight through main. But if you're doubling back around, if you're shutting down in the post one the way that DRX were, you can do it just fine. I kind of thought I underestimated how the code was going to be able to find value, but it was just a piece of a much bigger puzzle for DRX, and Stax was the man putting that all together. The IGL, the one playing the role that was so pivotal for this game plan, and on top of that, he's performing great individually.
Well, the wonderful thing about it is I feel like they almost ended up saving their ults for when they needed it. Their initial takes were so good that the Reckoning could come through later in the round just to sort of destabilize anything the C9 were trying to do.
And I think C9 got closest to the right idea when they tried to go for that multi-flank, but never attempted it again. Those post lanes were just so damn good. And now, I don't even know if Cloud9 have a chance in hell. It's 11-1 for DRX.
Well, folks, surf's up because DRX is having a whale of a time. Let's go ahead and send it back over to your casters.
Okay, this would have to be the miracle turnaround from Cloud9, because DRX are on the verge of sending them home here. Mike, do you see a shot in hell at this? And you can be honest, because I don't.
I honestly don't. I mean, I was criticizing DRX so much in map 1 for being so sloppy, making so many mistakes that were uncharacteristic. And to come here to Icebox, to see them cook up something so robust here that C9 just didn't have an answer to, regardless, that's the first half. To come into this, they have mountains to climb. Mountains to climb here. It starts with a pistol, always does, but it's got to be confident from the get-go.
DRX should be sky high with confidence here after that first half. Cloud9 need perfection, and nothing less will do. They make their way towards the A side. First step, and Buzz goes unchecked until then. Leaf, great find. Zeppa as well in unison. Walls there, plants in, and post-plant found. They're doing what they need to here.
3v5 for DRX here. Wall's going to seal off towards screens. Leaf will find another. Just making sure Stax is down. all but confirmed here for Cloud9. Well, Marco can pull something off once again. Yeah, but this wall standing so late, it just makes it so difficult to get anything done.
First step.
And it's flawless.
You couldn't ask for anything better. They need this every single round, the whole way. And I will wait with bated breath to see it. Happy to see it if we do go that far. They're able to make this work for themselves. No easy task here. A capable side though, Cloud9. It's one of the best talent North America had to offer. Picking up the most wanted player out of franchising, you could argue.
I hate to say it as well, Ye has to do so much heavy lifting here in the second half as the Jet. No flashes, it's only really Zeppa's utility. Unfortunately, with him coming off that Sky, they lose that second layer.
Stack here, Mike.
With Zelsis coming onto the Sage, it's the same thing once again.
Well, we do have a stack on the other side now, 4 players. Let's see, what can they do? It's just waiting now. Marco finds lead. That's not ideal.
That's not good.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear! This is not how it happens, right? Oh, in the second round after you did the flawless work and you asked a lot of Ye. Says he needs to be one of the main proponents here.
Vanity has a rifle though.
Okay, that's been heard.
Potential here, seeing as it's still just classics for DRX.
Can they get the spike back? Yeah, okay, Ye's got that. Oh, but he'll go down for it! Is this how they get to 12? Unreal, Vanity's dead!
Absolute disaster. DRX have flipped the Thrifty in round 2. That could be the nail in the coffin. I feel it will be.
I think
With
so.
the investment in that first round, Ye will get a Guardian. Zeppa an opportunity to do the same. But it's Stingers and a Sheriff to round this out. And this is just classics. I think there was one frenzy
Maybe, yeah.
in the DRX purchase and it was removed immediately.
Oh,
Well,
just
that's
a
why,
gut punch.
that's why you don't shoot Stax' body in round 1.
Yeah, and here it is, 12-2. You wouldn't believe it if you only saw the first map, but here we are, DRX, so resilient in this game. And this map has been unbelievable. Buzz, first found, looks for more, once more, won't get it, Stax is there by his side! And it just looks all but over. 2 remaining, Ye and Zeppa have it all to do, and so little to do it with. And RB standing there, Ye knows it. The final couple of seconds, the Cloud9 Colossus has crumbled as DRX demolish them. Cloud9 are going home.
DRX, what a flip on this series. I was talking about obviously watching that first series from Cloud9 and talking about how phenomenal the form that they brought here to Sao Paulo. Showed it again in map 1 of this series.
Yes, they did. Against a better opponent, you gotta say it.
Absolutely. DRX completely flipping the script on this series.
Yeah, on the screen now, gotta give credit there. That map 1 showing all that potential the Cloud9 are gonna be bringing for the rest of the year. A team to certainly look out for. Only the one name crossed out for now, but God almighty, that is a terrifying team in the future.
It really is, and it's something that's almost you have to take with a pinch of salt. C9 take nothing away from what they brought to this event. There's so many positives to go back and look at. But DRX, the old faithful on the international stage, take down a hot prospect.
They are one of the only real remaining teams as it stands coming into this year. And you can see what they bring, the depth that they bring. You can't help but love them. The depth that they have shown here, they were not wasting their time during that downtime at all, Mike. I feel they've been hard at work. That composition coming out here on Icebox was wonderful. Haven still looking solid as ever. And yes, Pearl was a drop, but hey, Cloud9 I think are one above everyone else on
Absolutely,
that map.
and it's great to see as well. I love the fact that we talk about DRX coming in, being the first to kind of innovate with these B-side hits. They bring out this composition, and it looks fantastic. And even the Death's touching on some of the second layers behind the Cove, that safe plant, Buzz being pinnacle in terms of finding success here on Icebox.
RB, solid as a rock as well. Gotta say it, we've seen him run out of gas a couple of times, not always, hitting the games that matter. A couple of players, we've always questioned that longevity to their capability. Here, I have no doubts with them.
Absolutely not. Excited to see DRX continue. Heartbreaking to send Cloud9 home after the performance we've seen. And already, these players, even ahead of this tournament, but making a name for themselves on the international stage. Zephyr, standout performance here already in a short-lived run.
I think everyone saw this game as the one that could have been a final potentially, and in other tournaments it has been to an extent for some of these players, and you know, deep runs in tournaments throughout. Third place, I think it was a Champs coming in for DRX, and it looks like they want to start this year off going even further than this. Cloud9 though, as said, overall, loved what we saw from them throughout the small glimpse that we've had, some of the maps we've seen. They are a devastating team. They beat DRX in their own game on Pearl. They crushed HyperX. If you want to talk about difficult routes, I mean, Cloud9 had one of the hardest.
That is a tough draw to get HyperX and DRX, yeah, especially as this, again, not having seen them together on the international stage just yet. Obviously, a lot of questions about this roster coming in. So excited to see Cloud9 back in the Americas region this year.
Yeah, and for now, we talk about the MVP, a couple of options, Buzz, Stacks, Marco. Anyone out of them for you?
I'll give it to Stacks as being the most exciting Harbor we've seen yet.
I think it was really well implemented, actually.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed seeing that. I was a bit of a doubter. It always makes me upset. But actually, it looked really good there, and it did kindle that reignition of what made DRX so exciting at the start.
Absolutely, yeah, because it plays towards their strengths, right? Getting back to these set pieces and being able to execute them, you know, so precisely, which is something that almost became such a concern early on in this series.
Well, the day is far from over. We still have Talent up against EG coming up, so do not go far away. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
Write a story I
Incredible consistency versus dynamic, fresh ideas. DRX squaring off against Cloud9. An epic confrontation. The crowd is hot. This is insane. The atmosphere in this room is utterly electric, and we are about to witness a war between two outstanding teams.
There's Trey. So now we look at what's remaining. The three players make it just to Buzz and RB, getting demolished by Zeppa.
Let's go, Rick.
Incredible work from Celsius. Oh, and Zeppa as well. It's a blender. And DRX just left strewn across the floor. The Cloud9 wall will not be moved. It's just... much better crossfires being held, but there's still light to them yet. These options starting to dwindle now with the second start to pass, and there it is. Cloud9 looking a cut above the rest.
Again, uncharacteristic from the side of DRX, looking flustered. One more DRX! He's invested. Paranoia sent out already. Buzz and Stax both finding kill. Stax gonna double down. Much better from DRX now. Yeah, he's reading this perfectly. He knows they're tucked in. What?
Oh, Buzz! Unbelievable. I'm glad we got to see this from DRX. It would have been a terrible shame to see them whimpering out after map 1. But now we look again on what's on the horizon, and it will be Icebox. Plants come through here as well. They're trying to get into it. Not going to happen. Yeah, Plants in. This is lovely from DRX. Clean work. RB. No stress. Beautiful. Oh, and it is Stax! Incredible work, and DRX are immovable at this point. The Cloud9 Colossus has crumbled as DRX demolished them. Cloud9 are going home.
While Stax is out there yelling, vamos, he's actually telling them adios, telling them goodbye. Wow.
Imagine that's the face you see. You've just been eliminated, and it's just like this sweet-looking little guy just waving goodbye to you on the other side. That is brutal.
Unreal. Those are your Prime Gaming post-match highlights for what was truly a highlight reel of a match.
I think that was the best series of the tournament.
Yeah, I said it. It's match of the tournament for me.
That was the best Icebox I've ever watched, and it was a landslide. And I hate Icebox with a passion, so if you make me like Icebox, that was something special.
Yeah, well, speaking of Icebox, let's go ahead and take a look and take stock of what we just saw. 13-2. Your eyes do not deceive you, folks. They stopped C9 at 2, Mimi. Mind-blowing.
Yes, they did. The attack side game plan from DRX was absolute perfection. A hits using the Harbor and the Cove to get that spike down, with everyone else just heavily pressuring to allow that spike planter to go through. B hits where you have that kind of late mid pressure and you have smokes hiding the Cove to be able to get that smoke down, and then just absolutely perfect post plants on this A site.
Yeah, I think there was some real wonderful moments, especially when they didn't need to use the Cove, and then they even adapted to then later use it so that they could peek above it to kill the guy who's trying to defuse while everybody else is going below as you normally would. You're like, oh, okay, he's back in nest. We'll go below and fight him. Well, you can't. There's a Cove in the way now. They literally thought of every little thing that C9 could do and just battered them.
Yeah, my biggest issue with teams who have played the Harbor in the past on this map that I've watched is that they had an over-reliance on the Cove, tried to use it as a one-for-one Sage replacement, but that was not DRX's game plan. It was a part of a much bigger pie, which I think is what was so important. You can't rely on that ability to be kind of a stop-all on Icebox.
But this also just goes to show you, right, that the game is still ripe for experimentation.
For sure.
There's still so much you could do. You don't have to play Sage Mimi on Icebox. You could do something different.
It's just very hard not to, and you have to be a very good team who's very well coordinated, and DRX was exactly that.
Oh, so you mean I can't run Harbor in my ranked games?
You would probably not win.
I like that she goes, you
specifically?
I'll hold it back, I'll hold it back. Maybe not, GB.
All right, well, one player, though, besides obviously Stax and the incredible calls that he was making in the game, but one player that was popping off throughout the series, and although it was a bit of a struggle at the beginning, and I think all of DRX, Tom, struggled at the beginning of that first map on Pearl, really, though, Buzz was instrumental for this team.
That's the thing. He still was doing well in the initial First Bloods and the aggression, but the thing is, he is the sort of tip of the spear in every single one of their plans. If he fails, everything falls apart because he's taking so much space, finding them openers. He had an incredible second and third map, but I'll be honest, I don't even think it was his fault on the first.
No, and in those second two maps, it was really, like you said, he's the tip of the spear, but also, like, the game plan is relying on him. He's the one who's making space to allow that Harbor Orb to get the plant down. On Haven, he's the one pushing backside and taking that deep space to stop those double flash fast retakes out of C9. Buzz was so incredibly critical to this one, but it really is a team effort, as it always is with DRX.
Yeah, that's right, and that is the reason why they have become, the best team in the Pacific region, but dare I can even say the best team in the world and contending to even win this whole tournament with the way
You're
that
saying
they
they're
are
the best
playing.
team in the world already.
I mean, after that,
is like Achilles. I can see Achilles over there. Is he like
He's
mouthing that to you?
smiling right now.
Ken Yang and Achilles paid me off. Let's just put it that way. Unbiased host, maybe? Anyway, jokes aside, though, we do have to say goodbye to Cloud9. There's some of the standouts in the Americas region, who I have no doubt, Mimi, are going to be a force to be reckoned with when we start the season later on this year.
They absolutely are. And I mean, this match as a whole was so fantastic because we start off with Lotus, with Cloud9's, or excuse me, with Pearl, with Cloud9's innovation there, showing us a great comp, a great counter-strat to DRX. The Lotus they showed us too was fantastic, but they couldn't quite come through in those last two maps. Still, they performed absolutely admirably.
That's the thing, though. You know that if they played this map again tomorrow, C9 would have a million different counters of how to do it.
Yeah.
That's how good this team is. The coaching staff of MC as well, I think it's going to add so much to this roster. So I have no worries about C9 at all. They just came up against a better opponent,
A brick wall.
today. Just
Absolutely.
today.
I think if the bracket is drawn differently, that could have been a finals matchup. Who knows? Like,
For sure.
they
Imagine
are.
a best of 5.
Oh, it would have been absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful to watch.
It's okay. It's okay. By the way, I do want to say something real fast before we do our poll here. Tom predicted Cloud9, and look at the brilliant design that Tom drew for this. He put so much work into this artwork here. And
Excuse me?
Tom, no, Tom, please, Poppy. No, okay.
You
I don't
clearly
even think they
just drew
can
that
see this.
now.
This guy, is he? No, he just drew that right now. That's the narrative that we're going to run with me.
That's
Right.
not real.
So that's why you kept my board over there.
I plead the
Yeah,
fifth.
he collected him. He's the host. That's his
Do you
job.
want to show your board?
I didn't make one.
No, did you not make one? You make one every other day, though.
I plead
No,
the
not
fifth.
today.
We plead the fifth. All right, guys. Before the break, though, we of course asked y'all to go ahead and vote for the player of the match, and of course, the results are in. Let's go and see if Stax is as goated as we think, and yes, he is. And so he ended up winning this one by a
Buzz
landslide.
was wrong.
Yeah, but at the same time, Stax, if he's the guy who cooked up that Harbor comp
true.
and gave us that beautiful game of Icebox, it's all worth it.
If
to
not,
give the MVP.
Termi wins the vote, even though
Yes.
he wasn't in it.
Yeah, you could put Termi in there too. Well, you know what though? It was hard for us to pick, if I'm being honest with you, because everyone
So
just
they were
played so
all
well.
winners. Thanks,
were
GB.
all
Do you
Thanks,
guys
GB.
know what I just realized?
What?
That means Ye is home. He's not going to be here for the rest of the playoffs, which is wild. What a difference from 2022.
That's
We're already
true.
seeing that in this new year. It may not be quite new teams, but it is going to be a very different kind of crop of players in our top teams.
Yeah,
here.
it's been an incredible matchup. And of course, for more on that monumental win, let's go ahead and send it over, to the one and only Yinsu, because she's going to be standing by with Mako for our Verizon post-match interview.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. That's right. I
Nice.
have Mako
Nice.
from DRX with me here for an interview, and Jen is going to be here to translate as well. First of all, congratulations on that victory. You won it so dominantly, and I cannot believe you did it with a Harbor on Icebox as well. So I just got to ask, why the Harbor? And it was clear that you guys came super, super prepared. So how long have you had to kind of cook up this comp?
일단 승리 축하드립니다. 오늘 이렇게 아이스박스에서 하버픽이라는 픽을 보여주면서 좀 승리를 가져가게 됐는데 굉장히 준비가 잘 돼 있었고 또 촘촘하게 준비된 것 같았거든요. 왜 하버픽을 가져가게 됐는지 여쭤볼게요.
일단 축하에 먼저 감사드리고 저희가 아이스박스에서 왜 하버를 기용하게 됐냐면은 이제 이스탄불 때부터 아이스박스가 되게 힘들었었는데 그때 딱 하버가 출시하고 하버로 이제 아이스박스를 해봤는데 생각보다 잘 돼가지고 지금 하버를 기용했던 것 같아요.
Well, thank you so much, Yinsu. And the reason why we picked Harbor was because we've been struggling a lot since Istanbul on making our icebox stronger. So we tried a lot of different comps, and ever since Harbor was released, we don't know why, but it worked well for us. So that's when we started to decide to, run this agent.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking really, really good for you guys. Before the interview started, you actually told me a pretty funny story about RB in that 1v3 clutch and how confident he was. And I would love it if you could be able to repeat that to the audience as well.
일단 알비 선수 그 1대3 클러치 있잖아요. 그때 상황에 대해서 설명해 주시죠.
일단은 이제 3라운드 때 상대가 총 나오고 저희가 이제 2명이 먼저 죽었었는데 이제 상민이 형이 2킬인가 하고 궁이 생겼고 이제 1대3에 시간도 얼마 안 남았는데 스파이크 설치를 하고 갑자기 자기가 이겨줄게 라고는 콜을 했어요. 그래가지고 해봐라 그냥 이런 식으로 있었는데 그 진짜 상민이 형이 그냥 궁 쏘고 한 명 한 명 잡더니 그냥 그대로 이겨버리더라고요. 약간 아이스박스를 이기는데 그게 많이 중점이 된 것 같아요. 스노우볼이 잘 굴러간 것 같아요.
So on our third round, we had 2 men down, but RB picked up 2 kills, and then all of a sudden he was like, "Watch me win this." But we were just like, "Yeah, go ahead, sure, whatever." But he started picking up kills after planting the spike, and the opponents on the other side, they peeked one by one, so he was able to farm up the kills and make it really happen.
I love that. Watch me win this, and he goes on win it anyway. I think one concern people have is they never doubt you when it comes to coming to tournaments. Well prepared, bringing out strats that we've never seen before. But it does feel like as the tournament goes on, other teams are able to either steal your stuff or they can prepare for you. They have time to counter you, and that's when you start to struggle a little bit. Would you agree with this? And how have you guys kind of worked on making sure that that doesn't happen in this tournament?
일단 많은 팀들이 이렇게 DRX는 항상 뭔가 새로운 걸 철저히 준비해 오는데 그걸 보고 나서 모방을 하거나 분석을 해서 카운터를 칠 때가 많잖아요. 좀 그런 부분에서 DRX가 힘들어했던 대회 경험도 있는데 이번에 좀 그런 일이 일어나지 않도록 어떻게 예방하실 예정인지 또 이런 것들 때문에 과거에 힘들었다는 점에 동의를 하시는지 궁금합니다.
일단은 저희 전략을 많이 베낀다? 약간 이런 팀들이 되게 많았었는데 사실 그것 때문에 힘들었다기보다는 오히려 카운터 치기를 이제 그 전략의 카운터 치기를 또 저희가 공부해 오니까 오히려 더 고마운 것 같고 딱히 힘들었던 점은 없던 것 같아요.
Well, no, because even though we have a lot of teams kind of cherry pick ideas from us, it just makes it so much easier for us to counter that because we know the pros and cons of those compositions and all the strats, right? So to all those teams that's been doing that, like, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jen, for translating, and thank you very much, Mako. I see you tomorrow back here.
Thank you very much.
Well, you guys have heard it. You guys have heard it at home. If you're going to play against DRX, Mako, thank you for stealing those strats. But the Valorant is not over just yet. We're going to go to a break, but when we come back, EG will be taking the stage against Talon.
Red Bull gives you wings.